What up? Welcome to the Round Table. I am your host, Brad Wakai, alongside my co-host, Tyson Gentry. What's going on tonight, brother?
This is a big one, my man. This one's going to be fun.
This is going to be a big one, and we've been promising it for a while. This is straight gambling, straight pick 'em. We are trying to make you all out there money with us because, hey, like we say, Tyson, we put our money on these too. Like, we're not just, oh, yeah, we're putting these out here, little gambling. No. We're betting these. We're fucking putting our money down.
Yes. Every time that you hear us say, like, oh, this and this and this and this, we're doing it. We got the tickets to prove it. And to be honest, if you look back through, we're not 100% because nobody's 100%. But I think our Thursday night picks were like close to 2/3.
Yeah.
For
Especially
the course of the season, which if you follow betting, like, you made money.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you add these props in, and we're gonna Tyson. We got props. Good lord,
We got a fun one that me and Bradley and I have cooked up, just to really for our satisfaction, for us to really be able to do it, the way that we've wanted to do it this whole time, and it's going to be really fun and really stressful, I think.
I agree. I'm excited for that stress. We are going to be sweating. We're going to be in a steam room / sauna all weekend, baby. I
I
can't
gotta lose a
wait.
couple pounds. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, like we promised though, Tyson. Let's get right into it, baby. Let's go Raiders at Bengals against the spread. We're going to do our picks here, and then we're going to go back through with our props. So right now we're just focusing on against the spread picks. Obviously, Raiders at Bengals. This is on Saturday, 4:35 p.m. on NBC. So if you want to follow along there, right now on FanDuel, Bengals are favored by 4.5. Juice towards the Bengals right now. Tyson, what pick do you have in this game?
I think the Bengals cover. I think the Bengals cover 4.5. I love Vegas. I've been on the Vegas train like long before Brad has this season. If you've been listening, I think like our AFC West breakdown, I was I was on the Raiders back then. I love this team. I love the way they play. I love the way the roster's constructed. For all of the crap that Mike Mayock has got about not being able to do this and that and this and that, the team's pretty good. So he did that. Like, yeah, he missed on Cole and Farrell. Let's forget about it and move on to all the guys he's found in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that make a team good. They beat the Colts when they shouldn't have beat the Colts. They won in overtime last weekend. They have all the momentum. But they're going in there against the fucking Terminator. Joe Burrow is a Terminator. And it's his first playoff game. I know that. If you look back through his career from the time he was at LSU until now, the games he has to win, he's averaged 344 yards. He's thrown for 27 touchdowns, no picks. No picks. He just went toe-to-toe with the juggernaut in the NFL the last time he played against Kansas City, and all he did was outduel Pat Mahomes. And it's just over and over again, this guy just shows up, and it's like, oh, these guys, it's the Bengals. And then you blink and you look up, they got 45 points. The dude has 300 yards. Oakland is really good. Vegas, I can't stop doing it. I don't know why.
It's awesome.
I can't stop.
It's fantastic.
I think they're better than people think they are. I think that Rick Bisaccia should keep the job no matter what happens this week, just based on the performance that he's had. I mean, unless you can get Flores or maybe like Doug Peterson, somebody with a ring, I don't know why you'd be so eager to get this guy out of the door. All that to say that Joe Burrow is going to win this game, and he's going to win it by more than 6 points. He played bad last time they played each other. He had 148 yards or something like that, 20 of 29 with a pick. They won 32-13. Burrow's going to come out here, sling this thing around, and if he can't, then Oakland has to stop. Vegas has to stop. Joe Mixon.
Well, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I can't talk about this game anymore because I can't. Hopefully I don't say the Rams are from St. Louis.
You're just going throwback.
I can't believe it.
It's Super Wild Card weekend. It's in your head. You can't get it out.
It's the first Super Wild Card, though.
Exactly. Well, Tyson, I knew this was going to happen. we're gonna have to go mano a mano somewhere, and I guess we're starting early in the game. I got Raiders plus 4.5. You make a compelling argument, right? We got the young kid, Macaulay Culkin, all grown up in Home Alone.
He
Can
doesn't
he?
even look like a bully from like a 70s,
Yeah, he looks like
like
the bully jock,
he
like
looks
turn
like
into
he
the nerd.
should, yeah, he should have like a Letterman's on and be giving somebody a wedgie.
Yeah, 100%. Like, hey,
100%.
nerd, like, with like the hot cheerleader, and he's like making fun of the nerd. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
100%. But everybody's on the Burrow train. Everybody's on the Jamar Chase train. Oh, T. Higgins, he's kind of an afterthought now. Well, he's a stud, right? And yeah, Joe Mixon's great. Everybody loves the Bengals at home. They're all on this train. I'm taking the points with the Raiders here. And I do think the Bengals will win. I think it's a field goal game, maybe game winner at the end, win by 3 or win by 1 here. I don't know. When we broke it down in the last podcast, my biggest concern and question mark and analysis of this game was, can the Bengals block the Raiders? And I've come to the conclusion I don't think they're going to be able to. Now, I don't think that the Raiders will have something like 7 or 8 sacks in this game. Maybe 3 or 4, maybe more, maybe less, but I think they're going to pressure Burrow a lot. Like, that pocket's going to be really muddy, and they're going to heat him up a lot in this one. I'm on the Raiders for that reason, that I don't think Burrow's going to be able to get it going. And I think the Raiders, conversely, are going to run the ball and let Derek Carr go off of play action, where he's a specialist in that aspect. Bengals have improved on defense. They don't give up a ton on the ground. I think that bodes well for them in this matchup. But through the air, I think they are liable. And in the middle of field especially, now Darren Waller's back, I think that is a big plus for the Raiders in this one. So I like the Raiders a lot. I do think the Bengals will win, to your point. Burrow's huge in these games, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Also, public all over Bengals. That makes me shy away from that a little bit, especially in these wild card early weekends where you see the dogs cover about 58% rate. So nothing crazy there, but leaning a little bit towards dogs. I'll take the points where I can right now, especially in a matchup I think should be closer to a field goal game.
Well, I got 2 underdogs later in the wild card slate, so that 58% is not scaring me.
Okay, he loves it. I mean, listen, Bengals, man. Here's the thing. Now, let's talk about this a little bit too. So how can you see the Raiders winning this game? Like, what's the recipe for you? Like, honestly, like we discussed it a little bit, but after further thought, looking at the lines, and we analyzed all these player props and matchups. Like, is there a way that you can see the Raiders winning this game outright?
Well, I think Josh Jacobs has to be huge. Like, I know that we all love Darren Waller, and Darren Waller is the best player John Gruden ever coached, or whatever wild thing that he said, forgetting about Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, like all those guys. But I think your best players have to be your best players when you get to these moments. And I think Josh Jacobs is one of those rare cases in the NFL in a running back that has the opportunity. He could catch 4 passes for 40 yards, all huge first downs, run the ball 20 times for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. And all of a sudden Vegas is like cruising. And they're just picking up first downs and moving the ball. Because if you put this game in Derek Carr's hands, honestly, and you turn it in, I love Derek Carr. But if you turn it into a shootout, I'm taking Joe Burrow 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 probably, to be honest with you. I mean, Carr won a shootout against Herbert last week, and that was by the skin of his teeth. Mm-hmm. That was like as close as it gets. It was more incompetence by Los Angeles' defense than Derek Carr kind of piecing them up. And it's going to take one huge Zay Jones, Deshaun Jackson bomb, right? And is Jesse Bates going to let that happen in the secondary? I'm not seeing it, because it's at some point in this game, the way I see it in my mind, Vegas is going to have to hit a home run. And them in Pittsburgh, I think, are the 2 teams least equipped to hit a home run in the playoffs. Maybe you could put New England in that category, but nobody else really, like.
It's also Bill Belichick too, like, do they need to hit a home run?
Exactly.
Play really
like
well?
I feel like New England can hit home runs. I feel like Vegas is, it's a guy who hits singles going up there trying to hit a triple. 1 out of every 30 that he tries, he might hit the ball hard enough to get there, but it's still a matter of getting there, right? Because sometimes Jay Jones, Deshaun Jackson, they're open, and you can finally hit that play, and Carr's on his back, or it's an interception, it was a bad throw, whatever. The stars have to align in this game, I think, for Vegas to win, and I feel like the last two they kind of aligned for him anyways. And football doesn't work like that. The football gods are watching this like, all right, we
Yeah.
gave you two. I mean, what, the Bengals haven't won a playoff game in 32 years, and
Yeah, I think Boomer Esiason was the last time they won. Boomer
the
Esiason.
Raiders haven't won one in 19. So there's a long ass streak that's about to end.
Some drought's gonna end, man. That's for sure. This will be a good one. And so Tyson and I, first game, of course, mano y mano. I'm on Raiders plus 4.5. He's on Bengals minus 4.5. And I will do a caveat before we move on. I mentioned off the top, juice is in favor of the Bengals, kind of indicating for kind of some of the novice gamblers out there. This may tick up to a 5.5 if it goes crazy on game day tomorrow, on Saturday, whenever you're listening. I'm going to wait out Raiders, see if I can get a 5. If not, I'm going to take the 4.5 before it gets down to 4, which doesn't look likely, but I just did want to say that I may have +5. I'm going to wait that out, see if I can get a better number just in case.
He's a smart man.
All right, Patriots at Bills, final game on Saturday, the nightcap. This is going to be a good one, man. The trilogy, like we mentioned, 8:15 on CBS. Here we go. I mean, Bills were in the AFC Championship game last year. Patriots finally back. Bills held off the Patriots.
Finally
back, yeah. Bills held off the Patriots when it looked like the Patriots are going to win the division again. The Bills, once again, 2 years in a row. Seems like they got their mojo back. We'll see what they can do in this one. Man, oh man. This number, Bills minus 4.5. They're the favorites right now. Juiced in their favor. It's going to be freaking freezing in this one. They're saying sub-zero with wind. Not too windy. Like, it's not going to be crazy like we saw in the first matchup between these two. Just going to be really cold up in Buffalo. That impacts the game a lot, I think. Tyson, where are you going with this one?
I've gone back and forth so many times. Like, this one is so hard because that 4.5 number is not. I think that the Bills are going to win this game, but I think if you ran this through a simulation 1,000 times, the Patriots might win 400 of them. And especially in this weather, in this climate, I think 4.5 is. I'm much more confident in the Bengals to cover 4.5 against Vegas than I would be saying the Bills are going to cover 4.5 against New England. So for that reason, I kind of like New England against the spread. But if I'm going to take them against the spread, then I like a money line too, because I don't think that they're going to lose a close game to Josh Allen. Is the way that it works in my head. Now I understand that doesn't make much sense, but I think that there's been a lot made about Josh Allen not being a cold weather quarterback over the last couple of days, and it's silly, but it's kind of true. But at the same time, there's never been a cold weather quarterback. That's not a thing. Every quarterback ever preferred to play in domes and warm weather. If you need any further proof, Tom Brady now plays in Tampa Bay. So I don't think that he's like some guy. Like, if Kyler Murray played in Buffalo, then I would be like, oh my gosh, this dude, like, there's no chance. I still think Buffalo scores enough points and plays good enough defense on Mac Jones to cover at that 4.5 number, but I'm probably not going to place a spread bet on this one myself.
Okay. So you don't have an official pick on this one?
I would go Bills money line that's what I'm going to do.
Bills money line, that's what you're going to do.
But I'm leaning more towards the Bills 4.5 than I am Patriots covering.
Okay, so your official pick will go Bills money line. I like that a lot. I mean, I think the Bills win this game. I mean, they got better players than the Patriots. Love you running down that because that's what I was doing. To be completely honest with you, I did the same thing, right? Like, this 4.5 number, you're not getting if it's a field goal, either way. Obviously, you want the 4.5 with the Patriots, right? Like, it's just logic there. You get a cushion. You cover with the Bills in a close game, but the Patriots obviously can make it close, especially in the playoffs. But it's not like this is a Bills team in the past. Like, oh, this team's inexperienced. Like, this team's been in the playoffs. This team's been in a championship game. This team knows they're good enough to get there, and this team expects themselves to get there. Like, it just feels like it's not like one of those teams that you look at like, oh, Bill can prey on this guy, or Bill can really outsmart this team. Like, they have no experience here. It's like, no. This team expects themselves to be in the Super Bowl. Like, it's not like, wow, we're just happy to be here. Ooh, man, Bill Belichick and the Patriots are on that side. We're a little intimidated. It's like, no, we can beat these guys because we have beat them and we think we're better than them. So that for that reason, and besides the fact that I think their quarterback's exponentially better than the Patriots quarterback and Mac Jones, I'm going Bills minus 4.5. Like, I'll lay those points here. Now, I am nervous about this turning into a field goal game, especially in that weather. But I can also see that hindering Mac Jones more than it would Josh Allen, because in the first game when it was that crazy weather, similar to what we're going to get on Saturday, the Bills weren't prepared for that running attack by the Patriots, and they just smacked them around the field. Now, I think in this one, for the Patriots to be successful, they're going to have to open it up more. They're going to have to spread the ball around and be more perimeter. To me, that opens the door up for a lot more mistakes by a Patriots offense. Maybe the ball gets tipped and intercepted. That's another possession for the Bills. Maybe it's more 3 and outs, with the clock not running as much as when they ran the ball in the first matchup and just had that clock churning. So I think there's going to be more time for the Bills to get the ball, more times for them to score. And conversely, they just found a way to attack that Patriots defense in the second matchup where they just shredded them all across the field, marched the ball up and down the field. I think that gave them confidence. I think they have a blueprint on how to attack this defense, even with Bill Belichick giving it tweaks. So I like the Bills to cover in this one. Give me Bills minus 4.5.
Same page, baby.
Same page.
Different ways of getting there, but same page.
Exactly. It's all, but that's the thing too. Like, it's a process in this stuff.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you go through it. Like, how can we see the Bills covering this number? And you got to go through these check marks, right? Like, if you can't see it at all, well, then you got to take the points for the Patriots. I can see the Bucs winning this game by 14 points. Honestly, to me, that's more likely than the Patriots winning this game, which is crazy to say. And I thought people may listen. They're like, "What are you talking about? Like, it's insane. It's Bill Belichick." But I think the Bills are just that much better as a roster than this Patriots team, and so that's where I land on this one.
Also, we're comparing two teams. One started out super hot, was putting 50 on everybody, midseason slump, and then came back to life in the Buffalo Bills. And then in New England, it started slow, looked kind of okay at times, looked bad at times, especially week 1. Middle of the season, all of a sudden, they're like the best team in the league. And then they've fallen back to earth. It's a lot of times in the playoffs, it's a momentum game.
That's for sure. I mean, that 100%. And here's the other thing too that I want to ask you: did the Patriots peak too soon?
Yeah, 100%.
I think so too. Like, it feels like this is what they really are. Like like we said, like an average to below average team. And when they went on that run in the middle of it was just too early. And I think we kind of see it now.
If you're making a line, what's the Raiders Patriots? Oh, what's that spread?
I'd go Patriots probably favored by like 2 or 3.
That's why this game feels weird to me.
Exactly.
Like the Raiders 4.5, this one 4.5. Like, I just
are we really saying the Bills and Bengals are the same team?
Mm-hmm.
Are we really saying the Raiders and the Patriots are the same team? Like,
yes.
That's where I did, and that's why I'm on the Raiders, and that's why I'm on the Bills in this one, conversely. But oh man, this next one though, Tyson, I think we're gonna shock a lot of people with some picks here. Now, Eagles Bucks. This is our first Sunday game. Standard 1 o'clock. We're gonna be on Fox. We're gonna have Joe Buck, Troy Aikman apparently in this one calling this game for us, Tyson. Man, oh man, this is Tyson and I Super Bowl right here. Eagles, Bucks. Bucks are favored by 8.5. They're given that. It's actually kind of juiced in the Eagles' favor a bit. This may come down a little bit more.
Better.
I know we may shock the world in this one, Tyson. I'm going to let you.
It's the Eagles, It's the Birds. What are we talking about? It's the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL versus the 21st ranked rushing defense in the NFL. It's no Antonio Brown. It's no Chris Godwin. Gronk is old. Mike Evans probably not even going to show up, get off the bus. He's so intimidated by Darius Slay. I'm kidding. But I do think the Eagles cover this 8.5 number. And I'm going to sprinkle the money line just a bit. Just a bit. I got to get it. First of all, look, this is the most depraved fan base in all of sports, where it's gloom, woe is me and gloom and doom all the time. it makes no sense to cheer against your favorite team because if they lose, you're still going to be upset, as you would be if you were excited and they lost. But there's analytics here too. In what I said, I do believe Philadelphia can run the ball, shrink the clock, and then at that point, it's like, yes, that's Tom Brady on the other sideline. But if Philadelphia runs the ball for 200 plus yards, which I fully expect them to do, that's what they've done to everybody.
Wow.
That number is crazy. I know people are like, no way. Every top 5 rush defense they've played this season, they've put 200 plus on. I expect it again. I think Philly does that. I think Miles Sanders coming back does that. I think that this game is going to be really close, and I think that this game has a chance for another Tom Brady moment because he just doesn't have quite enough in his career. I also would be more interested in Mike Evans player props here than Gronk. If you're going to be looking at the game from that point of view where it's like, okay, AB and Godwin are out. He loves Gronk. He loves Mike Evans. What are we looking at? I think Darius Slay has been unreal this year. And he even received first-team All-Pro votes. He didn't quite get the spot, but he had the best Pro Football Focus coverage grade. He struggles mightily with big, strong wide receivers. If you look at, especially in his career as an Eagle, Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf have totally made him look silly. Mike Evans is the most underrated dude in the league at that position, possibly of the last 20 years. He's chilling up there in Larry Fitzgerald territory now, where it's like he's always fifth when we do our top 5s, but we talk everybody else up above him. I think Mike has a chance to dominate this game, and that's what I'm worried about most as an Eagles fan. I think you can bracket Gronk and do some things. Leonard Fournette, probably still a little banged up. Ronald Jones doesn't scare you. Keyshawn Vaughn doesn't scare you. Jalen Darden doesn't scare you. Who else? Scotty Miller doesn't scare you. It's going to be Mike Evans, and for the Eagles to have a chance, they can't sit in zone the same way they have all year. It's going to have to be man-to-man at certain points. And I think that Darius Slay has been phenomenal this year. But I'm taking Mike Evans in that matchup, and that's the only reason I'm not 100% sold Eagles money line. I do think they win the fucking game, though.
Woo! You think so? So he's going to sprinkle plus 300 on the Eagles because that's the money line on FanDuel. Tyson, I'm right in the trenches with you, my man. I am all over Eagles plus 8.5 in this one as well. And you know what's crazy here, and we discussed this. That rushing defense for the Bucs, I want to say in the past, the second half of the year, they're 21st,
like 21st or something.
21st,
Yeah, 21st. Yep.
And
there were 6 in the first 8 weeks, and they were 21st in the last 8.
Exactly, and that's a massive split. And the other thing too, All-Pro Jason Kelce center, it's going to be imperative that they block Vita Vea away from where they're running the ball, because he's a run stopper. He's a disruptor, a run stuffer, and gets all over and blows up your running game. Whether he makes the tackle or not, he's a huge impact. That's the biggest key in the game for me from the Eagles standpoint. You have to eliminate Vita Vea massively impacting the game. Now, he's going to. He's that good of a player in spurts, but he can't be a disruptor the entire game, especially when your offense is predicated on running the football and rushing the ball for positive yards pretty much every time you do it, so it shortens the sticks for your quarterback. Like, it has to be done. Like, that's priority number one of what needs to take place in this game for the Eagles. Number two,
we gotta shout out real fast Jason Kelce, 4-time first-team All-Pro, most of any center all of time, the best center to ever put on a pair of cleats and walk around an NFL field. And the accolades back him up. This isn't just us talking as Eagles fans. This dude he's always been Travis's brother to other people.
right.
To other people, Travis is Jason's brother.
Yeah, to us Eagles fans.
Yes.
No, that's shout out Jason Kelce. So he's gonna have a big task ahead of him. I think stuffing Vita Vea is number one priority, and number two, you mentioned it, man. You got to defend the middle of the field. I think that's where Mike Evans may do the most damage in this one. That's where they're going to try to get Gronk going up the seam there. If they can do those two things, which is possible, I mean, the Bucs are the most injured team in the playoffs. They are graded out as the most injured team, players who are missing. This is a winnable game for the Eagles. And people are like, what? That's insane. I'm just saying, and Tyson's just saying, do not be shocked if on Sunday it's really close and the Eagles somehow pull this off.
I don't want to hear shit because Philadelphia's been the most injured team in the playoffs the last 3 times they've made the playoffs. We didn't get any excuses over here.
No, never. Never. And I get it. And listen, and you know the public's gonna hammer Tom Brady. Yeah,
Have to
my
though, and at
God.
the same time, it's like this is like Michael Jordan grudge level type animosity that Tom Brady has for the Philadelphia Eagles, which could very well be a bad thing for the eight
I
and a
think
half
it
number.
might be, well, I think it might be a bad thing for Brady
Hopefully,
because think about this. You don't think he had a massive grudge against that Giants team stopping his perfect season, immortal quarterback, immortal team? What happened the next time they played? They lost.
oh, spoiler alert, dude! I'm not in that episode of Man in the Arena yet. I had no idea. Because, yeah, no, for real. Like it would be pretty cool if Philadelphia pulled it off. But outside of the fan perspective, there is real ways that this thing could happen. It's just
Real ways, real football.
and it's a lot of people who haven't. The 2 times they've seen the Eagles were when they got stomped by Dallas, and then when they played their second stringers, also
Right.
against Dallas. So
Right.
it's like you don't have, we've watched Brad and I probably nearly every snap of the season from this team. Like this is a real. At the beginning of the year, it was a real bad team, and now it's a playoff team.
And I get it, like, they haven't beaten anybody with a winning record, and that that's going to be sitting in the back of the recreational gambler's mind. We're just saying, take the.
And if you take out their first game against Dallas and look at the scores against every team with a winning record, especially when the Eagles were down bad, 2-4, 2-5, they weren't getting blown out by anybody either.
The other
we can't love Detroit for something.
Right.
And then hate Philadelphia for the same thing.
Now, I forgot to mention this. The weather is going to be a big factor in this one as well. If there's a potential at monsoons, wind, that's a major factor for what the Bucs want to do. I think this could be a big impact against the Bucs and pro Eagle as well. Weather-wise, it's not going to be sunny in Tampa down there. It's not going to be great weather, at least now. Could be nasty rain, nasty winds. I'll take the team who can rush the ball better. I like the Eagles to win the game. I don't know. I don't know if I have the balls.
Come
like
on,
I'm
let's
rooting
go.
for it. Well, I got the 8.5 number. Other thing too, Tyson, this thing may jump up higher as well. I know the juice is on the Eagles side. I'm holding out for a 9. Even if it's 8, I'll take it there.
I'll take it at 5.5.
I'll take it at 5.5. All right. Now, this is what everybody's saying is the heavyweight matchup, man. 49ers, Cowboys. This is, basically the primetime spot on Sunday. 4:40 on CBS on Sunday. This is a big one, man. This is a big one. Cowboys favored by 3 at home right now. Juice in their favor a little bit. I want to say open 3.5, 4. Now it's down to a field goal game. I know how much you love the Niners, Tyson, but I am all over the Cowboys in this one. I had a feeling that we're going to have to go mano-a-mano in this one just because. And partly it's because I picked the Cowboys to be a dark horse for the NFC Championship.
Oh,
they can't go out.
You're doing it to cover yourself.
I maybe. No, but I'm looking. Here's how I look at it. Cowboys, I think, are going to throw all over that secondary. And I think we look at the defense of the Niners. We look at the names, right? Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. Like, oh, this is a really good team. Solomon Thomas. Oh, man, they got really good players. The defense hasn't been that great this year. And they've given up a lot of points. And they've been kind of soft in some spots. I think the Cowboys' offense is clicking a little bit more than it has. Like, it's actually gelling. And it's kind of moving in the right direction now. And all the Cowboys have heard is how everybody's on the Niners. Like, oh, the Niners going to push them around. They're going to come in there and be physical, yada, yada. This could be a big-time spot for the Cowboys to make a statement on national TV. First playoffs in a while. Dak Prescott making this could be a big-time moment for the Cowboys team. I like him -3. I will take that there. Even if they win by a field goal, I'll push. That's why I like this number. But I think the Cowboys going by 7+.
I think the Niners could boat race them right out the fucking stadium. These are the JV Los Angeles Rams that we're talking about.
Oh
The team
man.
they beat twice. This is the JV Rams. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. This is like I think that San Francisco, yes, Dallas is uh, going to feast in the air because Josh Norman's your number one corner over there in San Francisco at the moment. What's his last name? Lenore, I think. Demio Lenore or something, the corner, the rookie. He's going to have to play really well for San Francisco to have a shot. But again, give me the team that's going to run the ball. And I think this is going to be a huge game for Elijah Mitchell. This is going to be his coming out party in San Francisco on a national stage playing the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's going to feast. I think the Niners are going to do enough. I think the Niners are tougher. I think they're more physical. And I think they're the ones that have been playing like they expect not just to be here, but this is a bump in the road to get to where they're going. Last week, Dallas kind of looked to me like it was like, all right, let's collect our records for the year. Let's break these franchise records and see how we do for the playoffs. It doesn't mind exactly is in the greatest spot. And you mentioned the Niners defense having the names and not being quite as good as public perception. I think the same thing about Dallas. I like their defense has been pretty good this year, which we're all shocked by.
Well, they turned the ball over a ton.
Right. And that is what's feeding us like, oh, this defense is really good. If Trayvon Diggs was simultaneously the best ball hawk and the worst coverage corner in the league this season, it's going to be harder to pick off Jimmy G on a Deebo Samuel 5-yard crosser than it is, when Jalen Hurts is throwing it 40 yards deep to Jalen Reagor, or Daniel Jones is throwing it to somebody, or Taylor Heineke is throwing it to somebody. Dallas defense is good. They got to play 6 games against average to below average quarterbacks for this season. I like the Niners here. I think that they win just basically on the brute force aspect of football. I just don't think Dallas is built that way. I think that it's going to be – they've always been too finesse to really, really compete. And I think this is the same iteration of that team. It just has different members.
They give up over 100 yards rushing on the ground, Dallas does.
Mm-hmm.
It plays right into the hands of the Niners. That's for sure. But that could also work in the opposite favor for the 49ers, where they're the ones who are churning the clock against themselves. Because if Dallas can go down a quick strike, boom, 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 they're 7-0 on 4 or 5 plays, bang. And then, okay, now we have to put together a 12-play drive. Oh, my God, now we have to kick a field goal because we didn't score a touchdown, down 7-3. Bang, bang, bang. Cowboys go down through the air, 14-3. Okay, do we start throwing the ball with Jimmy G? Are we going to become one-dimensional? Our strength's really running the ball. If we keep running, that clock's churning against us. That's how I could see it going down if the Cowboys are going to win big. They just strike them early, strike them fast. Okay, now you make the 49ers decide, are we going to turn into a one-dimensional passing offense? Are we still going to run the ball? Are we still going to be ourselves? Or just like how do we go about this now? And you really put the decision-making on Kyle Shanahan, whereas obviously if the 49ers go up, what they're going to do, they're going to run the ball and really shred that defense on the ground. So it's a battle of two styles here, and I think it's going to be fascinating to watch. I'm just on the side that I think the Cowboys they're going to perform this one. I think they're going to hear all week how soft they are. They're going to hear Tyson, oh, they guys can't tackle. These guys are pussies, and they're going to come in and they're going to perform. I'll say it right now. My Cowboys are.
Bro, you're so like I'll leave this meeting. I'll get out of here right now, bro. In the words of Nate Diaz, you better hope.
Oh man,
you better hope, because this is gonna be a long night otherwise, my friend.
Okay, now what's potentially maybe
your Steelers
worst?
Your Steelers,
yeah. Well, maybe the worst matchup, and spread wise, it is. Steelers going to Kansas City right now. Kansas City's are 12.5-point favorites in this one. Absolutely coming off of a drubbing of the Steelers about 2-3 weeks ago. Which was, you saw the final score and it wasn't even that close. So this could get ugly here. Tyson, do you have a play on this one on either side? What do you like here?
Well, I mean, Chiefs money line, 100,000%.
Chiefs
I
money line.
see
Chiefs money line
like
for
no way.
minus 720.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to touch it, but they're I think they're gonna cover the spread. If I was a betting, Steelers fan, this is what I would do. If I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, is I would bet Kansas City first half, Pittsburgh to win the game. Because that's like 90% of the games they've played this season in Pittsburgh have been them looking really bad and uninspiring for 45, 50 minutes of the game. And then at the end of the game, they won 17-13. I mean, I don't know about this game hardly at all. I know that the Chiefs are going to win. I'm confident in that. I don't know about over under because I don't know how many points Pittsburgh can score.
Over under 36.
Yeah. I'm just rationalizing it in my head. Yeah, I think the Chiefs can cover 12.5. I think that this is a really good opportunity for Kansas City to send a message to the rest of the league. I know that that's not a thing that people do necessarily in the NFL, but like if they're up, 10-0 early, then it's like, okay, let's get these guys out of here.
Right.
And I think that Kansas City has that ability. I know TJ Watt is an animal, and I know that the Steelers have all these guys on defense. It just doesn't. Ben could throw it 100 times, and he would have 240 yards. You're not beating Pat Mahomes that way. You're just not.
Well, I'm going mano a mano against you. For some reason, I want to get my hazmat suit this weekend. I don't know why I'm taking the Steelers plus 12.5. Like, I honestly have no clue. I think this thing's going to get up to about 13, 14 probably on game day, which I will gladly take the more points, obviously. I think it'll probably get to 13 before tomorrow. I can't believe this is the primetime game, by the way. Like
it's
on Sunday.
It's got to be
or the night game.
It's got to be some Steelers fans at the network. Because Dallas and San Francisco should be the game that ends the weekend.
It should be. I can't believe this is the night game, but I digress. I think this thing is going to get up to 13, probably 14 by the time that public money starts coming in for the weekend. Oh my God, the Steelers stink. You see what they did last time. That's why I'm going to take the Steelers. I'm going to wait that out, and they can't possibly look as bad as they did.
Yeah, they can.
The first time. Can they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, because that's who they are. They haven't been anybody else this whole year.
TJ Watt could look good on the weekend. Like this,
he's got to have 5 sacks for them to have a chance, and 3 of them have to be strip sacks.
I think they can cover this number. I think there's a potential I can see this working out where this is like a late Mahomes touchdown field goal drive.
You think it could be that?
I actually do. I could.
So if that's the case, then what? One in what? How many times do the Steelers win this game?
I don't think so. Maybe 10 and 100.
So 1 in 10.
Yeah, 1 in 10.
Made that harder than I think you needed to.
I was thinking because you went 1,000 simulations earlier. I was like, holy
that's true. Yeah, you should have gone 1 in a million or 1,000 in a million or whatever.
Up your simulation level.
Damn, 1 in 10
for the Steelers. Here's my rationalization. Okay,
so 1 in 10, but how many times does that end in Mahomes having to lead a touchdown field goal drive?
That I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that far in the simulation. I just let the sim do its job. No, but here, okay. So for the Steelers to win, they're going to have to turn the Chiefs over a ton. And it's not like the Chiefs have been strangers to turning the ball over. Now that was in the beginning of the season. Seems like they turned a new leaf. Seems like they don't do that anymore. But this is playoff football. Anything can happen. This is a defense, I think, probably a little bit overrated in terms of true metrics. When you look at them, like, oh, this defense rates pretty well. But I was like, I don't really know how good this defense truly is. But there is potential that if they turn the Chiefs over, win the turnover battle, they could be in this game a lot more than people think. And to the point where the Chiefs maybe get a little sweaty and uncomfortable. But that's the only way I see it being close in terms of the Steelers having a chance to win. Now, 12.5, ideally I get 14, 2 touchdowns. Stay within that number. I think it's doable. I'm going to roll the dice on the Chiefs. I'm going to put my hazmat suit on. And I'm jumping in on Steelers plus 12.5.
I cannot believe this is the same dude that I've done these podcasts with all year.
I know.
I know how you feel about the
I
Steelers.
know. It's bad.
And so you're a Steelers fan and a Cowboys fan now.
Oh no.
This is, I mean, what happened to you, bro? New York, you changed.
I'm just want to do. It's New York, man. I just want to got to make some money somehow, right?
Marvelous
Steelers
Miss
get it done.
Maisel starts doing well, dude. You start acting different out here.
All right. The last game of the weekend, and of course, it's taking place on a Monday because we got to sweat this. We got to sweat it out, Tyson. We got to sweat these things out till
Yeah.
Monday. Cardinals Rams 8:15. Obviously, Cardinals have to go into LA where they housed the Rams earlier. The spread right now, Rams -3.5, juiced in their favor. That's -115. Potential this thing can climb back up to 4. Started 4.5, has gotten bet down to 3.5. Now there's potential it rises back up. What are you looking at for this one? I mean, this is interesting. Both teams have won on the opposing
Yep.
field. This seems like more like a crapshoot than anything to me, Tyson. What's your pick in this one?
The one thing I like a lot in this game is over 49.5. I like that over number. That seems really high, but I don't think either one of these teams I don't even think either one of these teams really understand how to win in the playoffs. This isn't going to be like we were talking about in the Bills Patriots game, where it was like, okay, these two guys, they understand. I know Sean McVay's been to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't exactly like the most impressive run that he went on, and it didn't culminate in anything. Matt Stafford, first of all, if they don't win the Super Bowl, that trade is going to be talked about right now. Because right now it's like, oh, whatever. Traded a couple first round picks for him. They don't win the Super Bowl, then it's like, can you believe the Rams mortgaged their future to get knocked out in the first round?
And the Ramsey trade,
which is likely. Like, I don't know if it's 50-50, 60-40. This to me feels like the biggest coin flip of the weekend, which at certain points this year, I would have said the Cardinals could kill the Rams, or I would have said the Rams could kill the Cardinals. I'm going to go Arizona +3.5. I don't like that at all. I think that the Rams win the game, but again, I'm not a McVay guy. I'm not a Rams guy. I've been a Stafford guy for a long time, but I've been a realistic Stafford guy where those stupid picks that he throws and the pick sixes that he just finds himself giving away, it could be really, really problematic. And the other part is I want to see it. Like I don't believe in the Rams, and I don't believe in I don't believe in the Cowboys. I want those teams getting bounced as early as I can because I don't want them playing each other in the NFC title game or something, and then one of these frauds has to go to the Super Bowl. Give me Arizona because I know they're getting beat the week after.
if it's Rams and Cowboys, the other thing that you're in a conundrum with is I look really smart because those are my two dark horse teams.
You always do.
Oh, that's facetious. But Tyson, on Monday night, I'm riding with you, my man. I'm going Cardinals +3.5 as well. And you literally took the words out of my mouth. I mean, just the way you described this game. I would same thing with you. I would have said Rams are going to absolutely kick the shit out of Cardinals, vice versa. Right now, I think both these teams. Now, Rams have gone 4-1 in their last 5. Cardinals have gone 1-5 or 1-4 in their last 5. So both opposite trajectories here, which is why I think I kind of like the Cardinals in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They have to circle the wagons. Everybody's like, "Oh, Cliff Kingsbury is such an idiot," and this and that. It's like, yeah, but
How disappointing can this team be?
right, disappointing, and this is like, yeah, but you weren't really saying that when they were looking good. It was all about how good Kyler Murray is. And now, Kyler Murray's played worse. Now it's Cliff Kingsbury's fault. Like, I don't really follow the logic there. I think this team, honestly, the season was too long for them. And this one, like, they peaked really early, got injured, then they had to bring some players back in. They had to basically build this team up again. This is a new season. I think this team could look at it that way, like, hey, guys, we got the invite to the tournament. Let's see what we can do with it. We're playing a team that we know we can beat. Like, they know they can beat the Rams. The way I see it, I think the Cardinals can win this game. I think +166 on the money line. That might be worth the sprinkle for me. Spreading the ball out against a Rams team in a Rams defense Have they impressed you like in one game this year? Honestly, like I get they have the names. Have they impressed you in one game?
Maybe not as a unit, but there have been individual plays. Like Taylor Rapp made
Right.
that huge play in prime time. Ramsey's made huge plays. Aaron Donald's the best player in football. But it hasn't been like as a collective unit where it was like, wow, they just beat those guys down for 60 minutes. It was like, thank God that dude stepped up.
Exactly. And I think that's where I'm kind of like in my head about is like if they looked so good as a unit on defense, be like, I don't know if the Cardinals struggling can really get anything going, but it's like Jalen Ramsey's been cooked this year. The linebacking core has been very, very average. There's
A joke at times.
a joke at times. There's a world I could see the Cardinals running all over. And I mean, it depends on the health of Connor and Edmonds, obviously. But you get those two, and they could legitimately just like push around the Rams because I know that because the Niners did it. Like
Yeah.
there's a big time possibility that the Cardinals go in there and they smoke the Rams, which would be insane. That the super team that they built in LA is going to lose to the Cardinals.
I mean,
It's crazy.
they're too pretty. I just
Too
like
pretty.
they're too pretty. They're so LA. They're the most LA thing going right now. Like this and like the next Quentin Tarantino movie are like the two biggest things happening. They're just too pretty, man. And I don't know if the Cardinals are the team to do it, but somebody's gonna punch these guys in the mouth, I think. And based on everything I've seen this season, they don't respond too well. Based on everything I've seen in Sean McVay's career, they don't respond too well.
Yeah, he's got a good Campbell soup ad though. Big
They
fan.
bring in Don McNabb or what?
No, not yet. I think that collab's coming. Although I don't know, McNabb, he's kind of out of the media now. I don't know if they're gonna throw him back on TV.
Yeah, he got in trouble for something. I don't want to get canceled either. We should stop talking about him.
About
I don't know
McNabb.
what I don't know what he did, but
I don't either. But hey, we'd have To on our side, so
oh, thank God. You see that picture of him?
he looks great.
He could have played. He could have played this year.
He said he's been saying that, and everybody's like he's crazy, but he still runs like a 4.6 40, and he's like
That's what I was gonna say. Didn't he run like a 4.58 or something like that? He's massive. Yeah, he's got to be.
All right,
He's got to be 3.
Tyson, what do we got? 1 game, 2. So we have 3 games where mano out of 6. So 50%, not terrible. I think the one that's really important that we're on the same side is the Eagles, obviously. So we're gonna be rooting.
Right, and we're against each other on the spread. We got the same idea who's gonna win the game.
Yeah,
more than that.
Exactly. So all right, those are against the spread picks. Now we're gonna move into props and some exotics. Tyson's got some crazy shit that he dialed up. I mean, seriously, Tyson's good at this stuff too. He's hit like on actually a lot of these that he's given out in this show. So I'm excited to see what he's cooked up here. But so I'm going to stick a lot with the basic props. The one I like, or the two, I like 2 in this one, Raiders and Bengals. The one is Darren Waller over 59.5 receiving yards. I think the middle of the field is going to be wide open for him in this game against that Bengals defense. And it feels like we kind of forgot about Waller a little bit and how good he is because he was injured this year. This could be an opportunity that Derek Carr just feeds him the ball, and he has a big game. I'm talking 100-plus yards. So I like over 59.5 receiving yards. And then Tyler Boyd over 3.5 receptions. Listen, we know how good Chase is. We know how good T. Higgins is. Tyler Boyd kind of sneaks under the radar a bit. I wouldn't be shocked if they game plan out Chase a little bit for as much as you can, try to cover Higgins a little bit, and then who's open? Tyler Boyd, who can go off, and Burrow can get him the ball at any time. Love Tyler Boyd over 3.5 receptions.
Yeah, so and those are the bets that you could hit before halftime, and those are what we like. Well, those are what we like to see on the round table. I'm gonna go one. This one's super generic, but this is a bet that I love. Plus 110, so I'm giving you plus money. Every team to score 1+ touchdown in wildcard weekend. They just have to get in the end zone. It's plus 110. You get plus money for everybody to score a touchdown. There's only like two. I mean, like, try to talk yourself into anybody not scoring. You can maybe do it with Pittsburgh. I feel like that's pretty close to it for me. You could maybe do it with Vegas or Philly.
Can you though? Like Vegas, the Bengals have given them Eagles. Like they should rush in the touchdown. You know what I mean?
It's just that to me is the definition of a lock.
I
especially with the one team that I would say has the worst chance of scoring a touchdown playing Monday night primetime football, pride on the line. Ben Roethlisberger's last game, they have to get into the end zone. And I
oh
mean
they will.
that's a pretty safe one. You
I
could
love
probably
that.
go 18 weeks and bet every week, and you're gonna hit 90%. I don't know the actual stats. 17 times out of those 18, like no touchdowns is wild. These are
It's crazy.
playoff
That's
teams,
tough.
people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
These
Exactly. I
aren't
love that.
these aren't the Jaguars playing the Jets or something.
Even they were scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right. Patriots and Bills, some props. I got I have 2 anytime touchdown scores in this one actually. So I'm gonna take a couple flyers in this one. I really didn't love anything too much and beyond what Tyson and I have cooked up in our little parlay, but I'm going to take a shot on Gabriel Davis touchdown at plus 270 and Dawson Knox TD at plus 240. So plus money action there that I'm going to roll the dice on in this one. I think the weather may impact things. I don't know if Beasley's going to be truly an impact. Stephon Diggs, I have a feeling, might get taken out of the game in this one. Gabriel Davis has taken over for Emmanuel Sanders in that role, and Josh Allen targets him down in the goal line. And same with Dawson Knox. Like, he is very in sync with Knox down in the red zone area. I think he's going to get to the ball. And I wouldn't be shocked if both these guys score, and we're swimming in it in this one. So Gabe Davis touchdown plus 270 and Dawson Knox touchdown plus 240. Love those. I'll take a flyer on those in this one.
And if Gabe Davis scores, go down to Sportsbook and put as much money as you can on Bills to win the game because I think they're undefeated when he scores touchdowns. My second bet here is pretty wild. It's it's plus 7,000, and it's each team to score 1+ rushing touchdown in the wild card weekend games. To me, so this might not have the best chance of hitting. Obviously, it's plus 7,000. This value is insane. For every team to score a rushing touchdown, the worst rushing teams in the playoffs right now are the Chiefs and the Bills. Josh Allen has proven to us that he can run the ball and he will score those touchdowns himself, and he's done it against Bill Belichick. In Kansas City, Darrell Williams is actually the goal line guy. Derek Gore is actually the guy that gets in on the goal line. I think they're going to be running the ball a fair amount because I think they're going to beat the Steelers pretty good. And I think if the Steelers score, it's going to be a rushing touchdown, maybe even a classic Ben Roethlisberger quarterback sneak to send him out.
Imagine
Could
that.
you imagine to hit our bet? But this is all really good running teams, essentially, across the entire playoff landscape. Plus 7,000 feels really, really good to me.
$10 to win 700 on that. Oof.
Right. You put
I
down
like
that $20 bill you're going to spend at breakfast, you walk away with $1,400.
if you got a girlfriend like you, you're gonna be spending $20 on breakfast. What are you getting over there? Eggs Benedict every meal? Jeez.
Yeah, you got to get that, and then it's the tip too. You got to take into account. I mean, food prices are so crazy right now, right?
Yeah, especially when you're feeding 2 over there. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Hey, well, that's why he's a stand-up guy over here. That's why he's taking these plus 7,000s. He's got to take his girlfriend out on dates.
Yeah, well, if one of these hits, I mean, it's worth it, you know.
Exactly. Eagles
She's
at
not
Bucks, some
listening.
props in this one. Now, I'm a little this one I'm not too confident in. Tyson and I have discussed this a little bit. The Miles Sanders over 42.5 rush yards. Now, partly is injury concerns for Miles, where this isn't the highest one he's had where I've taken and he gets hurt in like the second quarter and you're like, well, he's done. But that's happened a few times where he gets hurt during the game, he misses time and he's out for the rest of the game. So I am nervous about that. 42.5 seems very doable for this rushing offense. That seems very low, especially with the way I think they're going to want to attack Tampa. Now I am nervous regarding. I think Jordan Howard's going to get touches. I think Boston Scott's going to get touches. So it could limit his workforce and his workload. But we'll see. I'm going to take a flyer on that for over 42.5. I think it's very reachable. And then also Cameron Brate, tight end for the Bucks. I'm going to go over 15.5 receiving yards in this one. I think maybe up the seam a little bit. If Gronk gets taken away, I think maybe 2 catches for 20 yards for Cameron Brate. Kind of a little quiet game, but he's going to win us a bet there. So those are my 2 in this one.
And I think on top of your point about Miles Sanders, if you're bored and you want to take a risk, Jason Huntley and Kenny Gainwell are pretty good anytime touchdown
I
scoring
like
bets.
Gainwell a lot for that as well.
And I like Huntley. So one of those two probably is going to score. Now that we've said that, you're going to choose wrong based on whoever.
What's the Gainwell?
Let me look.
That's got to be pretty penny there.
Oh, I think so. And and to be honest, he's gotten a weird amount of red zone carries for Philadelphia this year. He is plus 450.
Plus 450. There you go.
So he's less likely to score a touchdown than Jalen Reagor. I'm moving on. I got Jalen Hurts to throw one touchdown and rush for one touchdown, plus 250. I think Jalen throws for a touchdown. I think he runs for a touchdown. I think it's simple as that. In this game, I don't know who the touchdown goes to. If I had to guess, my first lean would be Devontae Smith. They've developed a real chemistry over the last couple of weeks. Devontae has looked really, really good, and I don't think that the Bucs secondary is going to be good enough to hold him all game long. Dallas Goedert is a potential one, but with Lavonte David playing again, Devin White running around there, it's going to be harder for Goddard to find that open space in the red zone. But Hurts rushing touchdowns was free money for most of the year when he was playing, and especially when he was playing on a healthy ankle. Now you have an ankle that is supposedly gotten back to the point where he feels pretty close to normal, and he's taken a week off. So he's rested legs, fresh. Tampa, at some point, they're going to specifically focus on making him throw the ball. But when you're on the 3-yard line, it's really hard to stop this guy from getting in the end zone because he said he likes to get freaky in the open field, and he's not quite Lamar Jackson levels, but he might be the second best, maybe behind Kyler, maybe third, at making guys miss from the quarterback position.
I like. You said plus 250, right?
Mm-hmm. For one of each.
I mean,
he's done it almost every single game he's played.
That's what I was trying to think too. Like he does that on a regular, and you're getting plus 250. Talk about value for something that he does on the regular.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm trying to do here. Is these aren't like, crazy bets. These are bets where I'm confident in giving them to the people.
Yeah, I mean that plus 7,000. You like you said though, you got to take that. You roll the dice on that. Are you kidding me? Because it could happen.
Put 50 cents on it, win $350.
Right.
$35 or whatever it is.
Like, whatever. But that's crazy. So, all right, 49ers Cowboys. Kind of the main event prop here. This one I'm intrigued by here, and I'm curious your reaction to the ones I decided to go with. So. We were talking a little bit about this. My first one I'm going to do, Juwan Jennings over 26.5 receiving yards for the Niners. Now, this one has potential to be a big boom and also a massive bust here. He's reached this a couple times this season. He's getting targeted more, but it's all about the catch load. How many times is he going to be targeted by Jimmy Garoppolo? How many times is he going to be featured in this Kyle Shanahan offense? It could be limited. It could be high, especially as the Cowboys try to take away Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. So I'll go with the fact that I think they might target him more as Jimmy Garoppolo's been trusting him the past few weeks. So over 26.5 for Juwan Jennings. My other one, Dalton Schultz, tight end for the Cowboys, over 3.5 receptions. I like that a lot. Middle of the field. I think he's going to catch the ball 4+ times, no doubt, in my mind. I think he's definitely a red zone target and somebody that Dak Prescott's going to go to and target in this game. And then my last one here, my first team total, Cowboys team total over 26.5. I can see the Cowboys easily scoring 4+ touchdowns. And even if you have to kick 2 field goals, score 3 touchdowns, that covers. So I am all over that. So those are my 3 prop and exotics in this one.
And to follow along with a similar line that you just set there, I have one that's Tampa Bay, Dallas, and San Francisco to score 3+ touchdowns each. And that's plus 280. And if you listen back, I think that San Francisco beats Dallas. Brad thinks Dallas scores 26+. That one's just free. And I think that Tom Brady, I think he can score 3 touchdowns on this Eagles defense. And the other one that I have here is I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. And that's why I feel so strongly about that 3+ touchdown game for both these guys. I think this one has a chance to be electric. I think this has a firework potential This has a Deebo Samuel making a giant play at the end of the game uh, to really put the game out of reach. That's how I'm envisioning this game. Is San Francisco is up 4 points, and we have an 84-yard catch and run that puts them up 11 with 2 minutes left or something like that. This game, I think, is going to be a lot of touchdowns, and I think that they're going to come from unlikely contributors.
Tampa, Dallas, San Francisco score 3. Like, I'm looking at, I can definitely see that happening. Like a 4-net touchdown, like a Gronk and an Evans. Okay, bing, bang, boom. Dallas. All right, Zeke maybe gets in, then it's like Schultz and Lamb. Oh man, and then Kittle gets one, Debo gets one, maybe Mitchell gets in.
Yeah.
Oh, and then all of a sudden, what do you say? Plus 270,
280.
plus 280 cash out. I mean,
this stuff could happen by the end of the third quarter in all these games.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, especially in that Dallas San Francisco that game, because here's the way that could go. That could be a track meet or it could be a slugfest, and obviously we're hoping for a track meet.
And even if it is a slugfest, I feel like there is a way that both these teams slug their way to 24-21.
Right.
I don't envision a way that this is 13-10.
Steelers, Chiefs. I got a couple here. Byron Pringle absolutely lit up my boy absolutely lit up the Steelers the last time they played. I want to say 90 yards and 2 tutties. Over 29.5 receiving yards. I am all over that. That he could do that in one big play. Mecole Hardman's out, who's been come on. He's going to slide in there. My boy Byron Ruffles Pringles is going over 29.5 receiving yards. And then I'm going to go Chase Claypool over 3.5 receptions. Deontay Johnson is the guy for Ben, but I think they have to get Claypool more involved, and there's a chance that the Steelers could be down a lot and have to throw the ball and catch up. Claypool's going to have to get some targets. I'll take over 3.5 receptions in this one.
Yeah, and to me, like I said earlier this week, Claypool is the scariest dude to bet on. I think he's the most overrated wide receiver in the NFL. Doesn't mean he's bad. And I will say on the other bet, if people are like, well, you think they're going to let Byron Pringle do it again? Are they going to double him over Tyreek or Kelsey? Like, that's I don't think that's going to happen. So I like those a decent amount there. And my bet for this game, Steelers as the lowest scoring team on wildcard weekend plus 310. And if you're paying attention to the theme here that I have going on, I'm not giving you locks. I'm giving you the best value that I think is on the board. And this, to me, is the worst offense. Playing a scoring defense that has improved drastically, you can take the Bengals game for what you want. I think that was more of an anomaly than the previous 7 weeks of work for Kansas City. I think that Ben Roethlisberger is going to be bad because I don't think he's good anymore. I think Najee Harris is their only real form of offense moving the ball. I think Deontay Johnson is awesome. I think Claypool is overrated. I think Juju is going to play, which is weird. He hasn't played like all year. This to me could be – they're the one team I'm worried about scoring that touchdown to give me that plus 110.
I like the plus 310. Really? Wait, were they the best or the lowest odds too?
Yeah.
And they're still giving plus 310.
I think second was Philly at plus 700.
That's not
going to happen. Maybe New England.
I would say New England or Philly. Philly might score
40.
Yeah, let's hope so. But plus
60, 80 points.
That might be my second favorite one you've given out. No.
And like I said, these might not be guarantees, but this is value. This is what we do it for.
I love it. All right, Tyson, we're going to close out this little portion here. Cardinals at Rams. I got 2 to close it out, and I'm going to go AJ Green over 42.5 receiving yards. This one I'm a little on, but I think that he's going to have to be involved with this offense with Kyler Murray. Have to be. Big body. Should be able to like jump over a lot of these shorter Rams defenders. Now Jalen Ramsey's physical, but AJ Green can just go up and get it. I think he's going to have to be involved in the sideline and for him to have an impact and for the Cardinals to really be in this game. So I'll roll it on over 42.5 for AJ Green. And then also Antoine Wesley over 24.5. My boy, Antoine Wesley. Kyler Murray, man, he's been targeting him more. 24.5 seems low to me. We'll see what happens, but I want to roll the dice on that one. I don't want to think about, hey, Wesley, I kind of want to take it, but no, I'll roll the dice on it. I'm gonna bet that he goes over 24.5. I think there could potentially be 30 receiving yards for Wesley. So those are my two to close out. Super wild card weekend props and exotics. Tyson, what are you closing with?
It's just funny to hear that in 2022, Jalen Ramsey's matching up with AJ Green.
I know.
This is the wideout one. This is the one I'm closing with, and this again is the same theme. This is value to me. Cooper Kupp to have more receiving yards than any other player has rushing yards.
Whoa.
Over wild card weekend plus 200. Cooper Kupp's over under receiving yards is 97.5, I believe. There's nobody on any book anywhere that is favored for 97.5 or more rushing yards. If Cooper Kupp has an average game, this isn't going to hit. But I don't think the Rams can afford a Cooper Kupp average game. I think, and look, if Cooper Kupp has a little bit above average game, that's 125. If Cooper Kupp has a great game, that's 200 yards. Nobody is rushing for 200. I don't know how many guys get over 100 this week. So I'm going with that Cooper Kupp bet because I think that there is a pretty good chance.
And what's that payout?
Plus 200.
Plus 200. Man, oh, man. Look at Tyson trying to get everybody rich. Tyson trying to get everybody rich with his value. I'd love that. These are great, man. I mean, every team to score a touchdown, that's plus money.
That's got to be as close to a lock you can get for plus
right.
110.
And Tampa Bay, Dallas, San Francisco, all 3 touchdowns, plus 280. Give me a break.
I mean, my favorite one is at plus 7,000 for a rushing touchdown.
I'm going to be rooting that thing home so hard, and I hope everybody else does.
Like too. That's I mean, be smart about it because you don't want to pay those taxes. That's a $5 bill for $350.
That is a crazy one. But all right, Tyson, here we go, baby.
This is ours.
Now, we will say this. This is our round table prop parlay that we're doing for Super Wildcard Weekend. Now, we had stipulations involved here. All 6 games needed to be involved in some aspect. So, we could do as many props as we wanted from one game, one prop from one game, but they all had to be involved at some point. Now, Tyson and I think we've cooked up something pretty good here. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but we were confident. We were dissecting. We were in the lab. We were mixing around. And we're starting. Yeah, knock on wood. You're right. So I'll start it off here, Tyson. This is our round table prop parlay at plus 28,380 for the odds here. So just for some context here, if you put down $10, you win. What is that, Tyson? $10 is $2,838. So $10 will get you about $3,000. So that's what we're looking at here. And
just skip the Starbucks for 2 days and put the bet down.
Exactly. So 9 legs in this thing. We're gonna go through it with you. And if you're gonna ride with it, one thing, ride this with us because this is gonna be a hell of a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun, man.
We're starting off with a Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown. Now this has got to hit to get us going here. Now we're thinking about it. If the Raiders are going to keep this close, Josh Jacobs has to get in the end zone at some point, whether it's on the ground or a screen through the air. So we love this. Josh Jacobs will find himself in the end zone in this game at some point. So first leg, Josh Jacobs, anytime TD.
Absolutely. And then Damian Harris, second leg, over 58.5 rushing yards in that game. Absolutely demoralized, pants the Bills the first time they met. I think he had a 55-yard rushing touchdown in that game. Second game, he still played really well. Everyone's worried about Ramondre Stevenson. Damian Harris owns this backfield. Damian Harris is going to get at least 60 rushing yards in this game, and we will take that over 58.5 every single time.
Every single time. Staying with this game, too, third leg, Devin Singletary over 13.5 receiving yards. Another one in the second meeting. He absolutely torched the Patriots. They just let them have the underneath throw. Josh Allen dumped it down to Singletary, and I want to say he had like 70 receiving yards. Like, this is something that I don't think will happen on the same scale, But Josh Allen knows that was effective last game. Like, that's in his head. Like, hey, if I just dump it down, we can still win the game. I don't need to go for the home run ball, especially in this weather. I think he could dump it down a lot more often than we think. Devin Singletary over 13.5 receiving yards.
And next up, we got Jalen Hurts over 16.5 completions. The Eagles are going to have to throw the ball at least 25 times to win this game. Jalen Hurts' completion percentage indicates that he will complete 17 of those passes against this pass defense. And it's going to be a game where Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers defense are not going to let the Eagles just run the ball down their throats. They're going to do everything they can to make Jalen hold the football and not run with it, which opens, obviously, to passing. He's a quarterback. They throw the ball. He completes the passes. And 17 is pretty low as far as passing over-unders get. This is one where we both thought you just have to take it.
Have to. I mean, that's insane. 17 completions and you hit your fourth leg in this parlay. Yeah, that's in there. Moving on to the fifth leg. Elijah Mitchell over 79.5 rushing yards. Now, we already went over Dallas's rush defense. It's pretty porous. Niners are going to try to establish themselves. This is Elijah Mitchell. He's gotten rested legs, right? Because of his injury. He's been time off his feet. Kyle Shanahan trying to save him for the playoffs. Boom, Elijah Mitchell. Here's the spotlight. Go, kid. And he's lived up to that task this year. So we love him to go over 80 yards. I think he's a 100-yard rusher in this game.
I do too. He was the one I was thinking about when I did the Cooper Cup bet. Also, he's by far the favorite on FanDuel right now to lead the league in rushing this week. The other bet from that game we have in this player prop parlay, CeeDee Lamb over 62.5. Brad might be the resident Cowboys fan on this podcast, but I am the resident CeeDee Lamb fan. It's been that way all year, and there's no more messing around. At the beginning of the year when they were feeding him, it was this dude is far and away. Amari Cooper is a good wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb is a great wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb needs to catch the ball 6-7 times in this game. I think that he can do that, and I think that 62.5 yards really could be a 30-yarder down the sideline, and then we're just kind of playing the rest of the game. It doesn't matter how he gets there. He's going to get there, and I love this bet.
I absolutely love that too. Now, we're going to throw Travis Kelce anytime TD. He's got to get in the end zone. He scored the last 3 times he's been on the field. Shredded up the Steelers. I think he finds the end zone in this one. Does this one have you a little nervous, Tyson, or are you locked in with this one? I know we threw it in there, so we love it, but any sweat in this one?
Well, I'm locked in. I mean, Travis Kelce scored 4 or 5 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks.
4 touchdowns the last 3
4
weeks.
touchdowns the last 3 weeks. Every time they're in the red zone, this is the dude that's going to do it. This guy is as Dickie V would say, he's a PTPer. This is a primetime performer right here. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a team that's going to have a shot to send a message. Plus, my reasoning with this one is you're on the goal line. Pittsburgh is going to get after you. Who's going to be open quickest? It's going to be Travis Kelce. Mahomes going to make that read, and he's going to catch the ball directly next to that Arrowhead logo in their end zone. This one's – go ahead and lock it in.
I love it.
In that same game, Brad, we got Darrell Williams over 56.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire out for the game.
Yep.
Derek Gore is a Jag. Just another guy. Williams is a Jag too, but he's a better one. These are just good running backs. NFL level running backs. These aren't like Najee Harris type guys that we're going to see on the other sideline. They're good enough. First game, I believe he got 51 rushing yards against Pittsburgh, but that was with a healthy Clyde and Derek Gore getting 12 carries. I anticipate a pretty good day for Williams. And to be honest, I think they're going to be up enough that they're just going to be running the ball. And this isn't like a sit your starters, we're up by 20 in the playoffs. This guy's a backup too. So I don't think they're going to be conserving Darrell Williams' health on the same level they would a guy like Clyde.
Also, the Steelers give up a shocking 143 yards on the ground.
Yep.
I mean, that's really eye-opening for Pittsburgh.
We're asking for a third of that, basically.
For a guy who is going to. I mean, he got what you said 50. He might have gotten 55 on 5 yards per rush. And the last time they played with a loaded backfield, like this should be something that he accomplishes, especially considering the fact they may be up a lot.
Yep.
So they may be running the ball a lot more than we think. So I love that, Tyson. Now they cap this baby off Monday night to cap it all off, cap off a victory, cashing in a plus 28,380 parlay prop ticket. We're going to go Odell Beckham Jr. anytime TD. Your boy from LSU, my guy, I guess, but my guy,
If this hits, he's your guy.
He's my guy. So that's going to be our nightcap here. Odell Beckham Jr. touchdown. Now he shredded up the Cardinals even before he got to the Rams. His best game was against the Browns. When he was on the Browns, was against the Cardinals. He's going to get in the end zone. I can feel it, and he's going to cash it for us, Tyson.
He's going to cash his ticket. There's no Darrell Henderson. Sony Michel doesn't find the end zone the way people want to pretend that he does. Cam Akers is getting back to being healthy. Cooper Kupp's going to get him down to the 5. And then it's like, I mean, we talk about the Rams all the time. When they're on the goal line and you get a one-on-one matchup with Odell Beckham, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford have shown every single week he's been on the team that they're going to throw that pass. And he's going to catch it, and we're walking home with $10,000.
Oh man, dude, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. So that wraps up our big time gambling show that Tyson and I have been promising. I hope you guys enjoy this because we had a lot of fun doing it. So listen, one of the reasons why we want to do it, gambling's getting big, guys. I mean, listen, if you don't gamble, this may not have been for you, but it's just another way to look at things from a football perspective. So hopefully we provided thought process of how we think the game's going to go. So hopefully there were some nuggets in there. But Tyson, I mean, this is the world we live in. Gambling's taken over.
I mean, it's legal where you live now. It's legal where I live now. It's legal almost everywhere else. It's some stadium, like Arizona's new stadium, is supposed to have a sports book in.
Yeah, BetMGM is unbelievable.
In the stadium. I mean, it's for a certain generation, this is like a big no-no. But this is just the world we live in. Gambling is king. You can't turn on any sports media without finding, this guy bet, $42,000 on the Astros to come.
Right.
We all know who Mattress Mac is, the guy that bet $3.5 million. There's a reason for that. This was fun. And Brad and I are trying to make you guys money. This isn't like, we don't profit off this at all.
Right. We're taking these bets. We want you to take them with us so that we can have fun together. That's what we're doing here. So we're hoping that you ride this parlay with us. Like it's going to be a fun ride. I think it has a good chance to hit, and if it doesn't, well, we had a good time doing it. Especially if we get through Saturday. Like that's it. We get 3 out of them. We got 6 to rock with. It'll be great.
And if you have that cash out option and a certain number hits and you want to get out, we are not like the Don't Hedge podcast. This is you go ahead, you make your money, you go ahead and get out of there. We're not mad at you.
Exactly. So as always, a little housekeeping here. Please like the show. If you like it, go ahead and reflect that with some ratings. Subscribe to it so that way when a new episode comes out, when we're starting to post more frequently, it's right in your Apple or right in your Spotify, just ready to go and ready to be listened to. And obviously share it with your friends. Like if you like us, spread the word. We always want some more listeners. We want more people who communicate with us. DM us. Can we ask questions? We love that type of shit. So don't be shy. Reach out. Like we will get you on the air. We're going to have more guests coming up too. We have a big year planned, as we've been mentioning. So subscribe, and share, and let's grow this thing together.
Yes, sir. Follow the Round Table Pod on Instagram @_the Round Table, @_the Round Table Pod _ Follow Brad on Twitter, Bwakai, BWAKAI. Follow me on Instagram, Tyson Gentry with an I. And let's celebrate this. Send us, if you want to place a bet, send us pictures of the tickets or whatever. And make sure to include the barcode so Brad and I can scan it somewhere and get your money.
Yes, exactly. That's all we ask. That's why we're sharing our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be great. I mean, football, whether you gamble or not, football-wise, we broke everything down in the previous episode. If you're listening to this and you want to listen to our breakdowns, go ahead and listen to that for the preview. But
And if you disagree with us, fade us and send us
Yeah,
those too.
exactly. We don't care. This was supposed to be fun stuff. So kick back, relax, enjoy the first ever Super Wildcard weekend all the way through Monday night. Hopefully, we are going to come out a little bit richer after
Yep.
starting that week. But we will talk to you when we talk to you next week sometime. But until then, everybody, peace.